Hey guys, good morning and welcome to today's session. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful warm morning, staying warm. I will share screen with you guys our DLP for today, our daily language practice. And in the meantime, I will be taking attendance, okay? So today's DLP is the following sentence, okay? Where you have to make your corrections. The following sentence goes, Louise Laurie is born in Honolulu, Hawaii in 1937 and lived in Japan as a teenager. Okay, so I need you guys to do this sentence, and then here we're going to circle the simple subject and underline the complete subject of the sentence. Okay, so you could just write it out. Okay, and the following sentence here, you're going to tell whether it is declarative, interrogative, imperative, or exclamatory, our sentence types from chapter 1 of our grammar. And then finally, you are going to tell me the predicate adjective in the following sentence. Okay, so that goes for our DLP. I'm going to take attendance, and I need you just to tell me that you're here. I need to hear your voice or type in the chat that you are here. And remember, if I take attendance and you are here in the beginning of the session and you exit later on, you're counted absent. Okay, so don't think that if you sign in or that you join my session early and then you leave halfway, uh, that will make you be marked absent. Okay. Also, if you are here and I call on you and you're not answering me without justification to why you're not answering, if you have a problem with your internet, with your mic, all that I can take into consideration. However, if you're not responding, you're not participating, then it's equivalent to not being here. Okay. So let's start with Ali.
Here.
Okay, thank you. Adam.
Here.
Kyle. All right. Ahmed Rashwan.
Here.
Hassan. Okay. Hassan's not here. Mu'min. Noor Mahdi. Noor. Osama. Osama. Okay. Aisel.
Yes.
Okay. Yusuf Ghandour.
Here.
Thank you. Fadia. Fadia. Okay. Farah.
Here.
Fatima.
Here.
Habiba.
Yes.
Hala.
Yes.
Hannah. Magdi.
Yes.
Hannah Hamdi.
Yes.
Hannah Durgham.
Yes.
هنا الحلو. هنا الحلو. Okay, هنا الحلو is not here. Okay, and Jana.
Yes.
Judy.
Yes.
Kenzie.
Yes.
Khadija.
Yes.
Lujain Ayman.
Here.
Lujain Nauman.
Yes.
Malak.
Yes.
Maya.
Yes.
Noor. Nano.
Yes.
Reem.
Yes.
Yes, okay, got you. All right, so Fadia and Osama, you joined us late.
Miss هو هنا حلو has a problem with her mic أو she still didn't connect يعني عشان هو
Okay, baby. Thank you, Nano, for that. I'm waiting for her to join.
she's not here.
Hannah Hel was here. Thank you.
I was connected.
Here now too.
Okay, so far my absence list is Hassan, Mu'min, and Noor Mahdi. Okay, Fadia and Osama, you joined. I've marked you in. Okay, so let's look at our DLP. Starting for number one, Louis Laurie is born in Honolulu, Hawaii in 1937 and lived in Japan as a teenager. Luji Ayman, please, can you start by giving us the first correction?
First one, we should capitalize the L in Louis.
Good. Right. Only. Only Louis.
And the second name.
Yes, first and last name. Okay, remember this is a compound noun. We need to, capitalize both. All right. So the capital Lori. Okay. All right. All right. And this next mistake, can you please point it out, Hannah Dorem, please?
Japan.
Okay. What do we need to do with Japan?
J we capitalize it.
Good job. Japan needs to be capitalized because it's a proper noun. Good. All right. It's a name of a specific place or a country. Okay. Thanks to Hannah. Thanks to Luji. Hannah Hamdi, please.
I'm not sure بس like Honolulu like
Honolulu.
this word, yes, comma Hawaii, because like it's
We need to separate them, right? Just like when you
yeah.
separate a city and state. Okay. You need to separate them by a comma. That is absolutely correct. Thank you, Hannah. Honolulu, comma Hawaii. All right. Okay. What else? Let's go for the next. How about Nano, please?
Louis was born.
Yes, good girl. All right. Why? What do we call this? What is the next? What is the other verb that we see in the sentence, Nano?
It's a past tense. Lived.
Good job. So we see the word lived here, like Nano pointed out, and this is in the past. So here is in the present. This is not consistent. And remember, this is called verb consistency. And what does consistency mean? It means that we have to choose one specific verb and keep it our sentence in the same tense as we go along. Okay. So here, Nano noticed that lived is in the past tense. So either you change lived into the present to match is born, but then again, the sentence seems to be more in the past. So yes, correct, Nano. You have to change is born to was born to keep it in the past tense, and of course, the W is small or lowercase because it is in the middle of the sentence. Good job, Nano. Okay, so Louis was born in Honolulu, Hawaii in 1937 and lived in Japan as a teenager. All right, these are mistakes. Okay, this is it for our first sentence. Okay, going to please Judy. Okay, here, can you give me the simple subject and give me the complete subject of this sentence?
Okay.
First, start with the complete subject, please, Judy.
Complete. Okay. Her beautiful soft velvet coat.
Good job. The complete. Okay, the complete subject we said is usually everything that starts before the verb, not including the prepositional phrase. So here, her beautiful soft velvet coat. All right, her beautiful, comma, soft velvet coat is my complete subject. Can you please tell me the simple subject here? What would it be, Judy?
Coat.
The coat. Good. So coat alone would be my simple subject, and my complete subject would be her beautiful soft velvet coat. All right. Good job, Judy. Number three. Give me the sentence type. Malak. Malak, please. Malak, if you answered, please lower your hand so that I can see the other participants that have their hand raised. Please. Thank you. Okay. So Malak, this one for you, please. Need you to unmute. Okay, Malak, I'm here waiting for you to tell me the type of sentence that you see here. You have declarative, interrogative, imperative, and exclamatory. There wasn't anything left in the fridge for dinner. There wasn't anything left in the fridge for dinner. What type of sentence would that be?
Declarative.
It is declarative. Good job, Malaka, because it's giving us some type of info. All right. It's a declarative or DEC that you can abbreviate it in your notes or in your notebook. Underline the predicate adjective in the sentence. And we said that a predicate adjective comes with a linking verb. Remember, we just finished that in chapter 4 when we were discussing complements. Okay, and we said that a predicate adjective is a word that comes after a linking verb. Okay, Reem, please, can you give me the predicate adjective or the PA in the sentence? The child's face was sweet and innocent. What are the predicate adjectives?
Sweet and innocent.
Good job, sweet. Okay, slash innocent. We would underline both of them because they are predicate adjectives. And again, we see the linking verb here is what was the linking verb here, Reem, that helped you understand that this is a PA answer. What was the
Was.
linking verb? Was. Good job. Perfect. Okay, so this is our DLP. Any questions regarding our DLP? Anyone has any questions?
No, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, perfect. All right, so I'm going to X that out or stop sharing this one, and I'm going to move on to the next assignment that we have. And if we look at our weekly plan quickly together, just to get an idea of how our week looks like, today my goal is to finish the 5 chapters, sorry, the 5 pages, the beginning 5 pages of Act 1 for the Miracle Worker. We still have about 2 pages left to finish that. And then we're going to do a class discussion, answering questions together from a sheet that I am going to share with you. I'm going to also post it under your assignments for term 2. Remember, this is a play that is going to be with us in term 3. We started it here now because you know how the term was extended. It wasn't something that we all planned for. Okay, so this is going to be our term 3 thing. We're starting it with a play. Okay, so today I'm going to finish off the 5 pages because if you look down here on Tuesday, we're going to start reading the next 5 pages, which will start from page 258 to 262. The play is long, and that's why we're dividing it to 5 pages, 5 pages, 5 page readings. Okay, and then after every 5 pages, we're going to have a study guide. All right, to help us understand what we covered in the first 5 pages that we read. Okay, starting tomorrow, I'm going to have a quick review over MLA. You guys, the majority of you have sent me your rough drafts. You guys did a great job. Okay, the majority. So tomorrow, inshallah, we're gonna have a little preview. So if you're joining meetings from your cell phones or from your tablets, I highly recommend that tomorrow, please, to join with your laptops or your personal computers, so that you guys, I'm going to open the security, and I'm going to allow you guys to screen share with me. Okay, I'm gonna enable that in terms of I'm going to allow, I can tell Reem to please share her screen with me and show me how she set up her MLA format. And I'm going to require that we type at least our first paragraph. Okay, because I want to make sure that I've seen a lot of errors in capitalization of our novel. Typing, it should be italicized, and the capitalization, I still see errors with it. Okay, so tomorrow, make sure I have a note here. Okay, make sure that you're on your laptops for January 25th, which is tomorrow, so that we can do MLA. I'm going to do in front of you, and then I'm going to allow the rest of you guys to share. Okay, meanwhile, you guys can type your papers and edit them. We're going to edit them together. And I'm going to do 1 page of grammar practice together. Okay, in the workbook, which is page 76. So again, this is how we're moving. And then finally on Wednesday, we're going to wrap up, and we're going to finish our novel for the 2 terms. Okay, and congrats, we finished it. And Thursday is an official holiday. so we will not have class. And don't forget, on Thursday, this is the final project, your final project, your final draft, and your final project, the one with your partner, is due. Okay. Some of you guys finished them, but don't forget to finalize your essay and send it to me by Thursday. Okay, using the MLA format that we're going to practice on Monday, which is tomorrow. Reem, do you have a question?
Oh no.
What about Nano?
Yes.
Yes.
Miss Yasmin, yesterday I couldn't send you the rough draft because I was feeling sick شوية. I sent you a message but I think you didn't see it يعني.
I didn't see it, baby. Oh, yes. You can
Miss
send it to me
Yasmin.
today, honey. I have no problem.
Okay.
Okay, yes,
Okay.
Judy.
Miss, could you please check if I sent you my rough draft and grammar on the assignment, because I'm not quite sure if it's
You sent
sent.
it on the assignment, on the thing, right? On the actual assignment
Yes,
page and on SMS.
yes, but can you check if both like grammar homework and the rough draft are there?
Yes, I'm going to check that and I will give you feedback on that, sure. Okay?
Okay,
All
please.
right, thank you. All right, so now I'm going to continue. All right, I'm gonna open up. I need you guys to open up your Miracle Worker PDFs. All right, we have stopped at the part where we were discussing how Aunt Eve was sitting making a doll out of towels, right? And she suggested that Mr. Keller makes a letter or writes a letter to a certain oculist. And we said an oculist is an old term that they use for an eye specialist. Okay. And we see that, Mr. Keller has a different perspective than his wife, Mrs. Keller. All right. Who could just give us a feedback on how does Mr. Keller, his perspective about contacting Dr. Chisholm is different than his wife's? Okay, how are they different? Judy, please.
Mr. Keller doesn't want to see like his family hurt again, because they tried every doctor for Helen, but then nothing succeeded.
Good job.
Unlike Mrs. Keller, she never she never gives out hope. She always wishes for the best for her daughter, even though if it doesn't work.
Good job. Perfect. All right. Perfect answer, Judy. Okay. And this is absolutely correct. Mr. Keller feels that he had been disappointed, and he said, it's not a matter of money. Okay. He doesn't mind spending money to cure his daughter, but however, he feels that, he has been getting continuously disappointed by doctors, and he doesn't want to go through that heartache one more time. Meanwhile, Mrs. Keller is very supportive. She's open to even if it means to get her heart broken or being disappointed, she still wants to give it an attempt, and we see her encouraging Mr. Keller to do it. However, we understand that Mr. Keller is the patriarch, and by the word patriarch, we took it, I think, before. He's the male head of the family. He is, the person in charge. So he makes the decisions. Okay. Judy, do you want to add anything?
I think that's all.
Okay. Also the relationship. Can you please highlight the relationship between Helen Keller and
Miss, we can't hear you.
Judy? Hello? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
The voice lagged.
Yes, that's better.
Ahmed Rashwan, please. I was calling. Thank you. Ahmed Rashwan, I was just calling on you, please, to tell me the relationship between Helen Keller and James. What is it? What is the relationship between them? Reem, please.
His son, but from another woman, not from my kid.
Between Helen Keller, Helen, and
Helen.
James. Yes,
Ah, okay. Like her son and
it's her. He's her brother. Okay, Helen
Helen
and,
Keller and
James would
okay, you're
be.
so cute.
Oh no, I'm not. I didn't mean Kate. He's
Her brother from but from another mother.
exactly. So that we would say that this is our her half brother. Okay, so he's her half brother because, like Reem pointed out, he is her brother from a different mom. So they share the same father, which is Mr. Keller. Okay. That being said, we know that here we stopped at the part where Mr. Keller is saying that, how many times will you get your broken heart? And meanwhile, here we see that Helen sits on the floor to explore the doll with her fingers. All right, this is a very important part where we stopped. Okay, this is the doll that Aunt Eve was making out of the towel. Okay, and we know that Helen relies heavily on her senses. Okay, so here we're going to divide some roles. Aunt Eve, you're going to be Maya. Kate is going to be Nano. Mr. Keller, you're going to be Ali. And James, you're going to be Rashwan. Okay, so we're gonna see this part right here, and we're gonna stop on page 257. Okay, so I'm going to be the narrator. Helen, meanwhile, sits on the floor, okay, to examine or to explore the doll with her fingers, and her hand pauses over the face. This is no face, a blank area of towel, and it troubles her. Her hand searches for features and taps questioningly for eyes, but no one notices. All right? And then she yanks at her aunt's dress and taps again vigorously for eyes. Okay? So, what is Helen doing? Okay, what is Helen realizing about the doll? All right, that Aunt Eve just made. What did she realize about it? Nano, please.
It has no face or features.
Features, right? Okay, we know that Helen realizes on touching things with her hands, on her sense of feel or touch, and as she touches or goes over this doll, remember this doll is just made out of cloth or towel. All right, it has no features. It has no eyes, nose, lips. It doesn't have the features that she's accustomed to touching as she touches other people's faces. Like who? Like Percy and Martha and maybe her own. Okay, or maybe even her mom's or her father's. Okay, so she's realizing that there is something missing in that doll. All right, it's a face, but this face has no features. All right, so she wants to say something, or Helen wants to make this observation out loud. All right, she wants to kind of like say, there's no eyes on this doll, or there's no this doll has no eyes. However, she cannot word it. Okay, so she's tapping. Okay, to tap is to move her hand on the doll, but again, no one seems to notice, or that she made that conclusion. All right, so she starts to pull. Yank means to pull on Aunt Eve's dress, and again she taps more vigorously. Vigorously means with a lot of effort and a lot of passion. Okay, with a lot of energy. Okay, so she's getting very needy. So Aunt Eve, start, please.
What child?
Obviously not hearing. Okay, so she's, they're still speaking to Helen despite the fact that she can't hear, but this is their way of communicating, right? So obviously not hearing, Helen can't hear. Helen commences or continues to go around from person to person, all right, from every single adult sitting in the room, whether it's James, Kate, her father, or her aunt. All right, she went from person to person, tapping or hitting with her hand on the doll or on the towel doll with her hands, that there's no eyes, but no one attends or understands. Okay, so no one really gets what Helen is trying to say, or trying to, what is the message that she's trying to give them. Okay, so of course Helen here would be, how would she feel at this point? Easygoing or more frustrated? How would you say? What would you say, Habiba? What would that make Helen? Easy, calm, easygoing, or more frustrated? Habiba.
Yes, yes.
So if you're in Helen's situation right now, would she be calm or more frustrated?
Uh, um, more like
At this point, let's think about it. Is anyone understanding what she's trying to say, or the message that she's trying to rely on to them?
no.
No,
No.
right? Okay, no one understands that she's trying to point out something. So, what would that make her feel, Habiba? Would that make her feel easy or calm, or knowing that she is easily frustrated from the first place, right? How would that make her feel?
Not easy يعني.
Yeah, right. So she's going to feel definitely, angry. All right, because again, no one seems to understand what she's trying to say. Okay, so Kate, please, no break.
As long as there's the least chance for her to see or hear or
There isn't. Now I must finish here.
Remember, Mr. Keller is a newspaper editor. Okay, so he was actually trying to get his work done before all this conversation started. So we can tell that he wants to end the conversation about. They're still discussing the fact about the eye specialist, and Kate is very persistent. Okay, she's telling him as long as there's any chance for her to see or hear. Again, we see that as a mother, she really wants her daughter to be a normal child. She wants to cure her or get some help for her to make her see and hear like a normal person. Okay, but Mr. Keller is ending the conversation to focus on his work. Kate.
I think with your permission, Captain, I'd like to write.
I said
Why? Writing does no harm,
no, Kate.
Arthur. Why? Writing does no harm, Arthur. Only a little bitty letter. To see if he can help her.
He can't.
We won't know that to be a fact, Captain, until after you write.
Rising, emphatic. Emphatic means he's angry.
You be quiet. I'm bad girl
Katie. No,
enough.
this one. Katie. Can.
He can't. Kate, he can't.
He collects his papers. Okay, his editorial papers that he was editing, or his newspapers. Facetiously. James. Who's James?
Me.
Okay, go ahead, Ahmed.
Father stands up. That makes it a fact.
You be quiet. I'm bad girl enough here by females without your impudence.
James shuts up, makes himself scarce. Helen now is groping among things on Keller's desk and paws his papers to the floor. Keller is exasperated. Okay, so you can tell that Mr. Keller is fed up. Exasperated means he is extremely irritated. Okay, why is Mr. Keller so irritated right now? What's making his situation worse? What is he saying that is making him? Why is he feeling so angry? Maya.
Because he said like he's being controlled by females and he doesn't like that.
Right. Not that he's being controlled, because remember he is. Everyone is asking for his permission. All right. He is the shot caller. All right. He is.
Yes.
He's the one that.
He's annoyed
Yes.
يعني.
Yeah, but he's annoyed, right? He's annoyed by all the female chatter. And how do you think his relationship with James is? What do you think? from just the way that they spoke right now, or the way that he spoke to James? Is it a friendly father-son relationship, or is it maybe a kind of tense one? What would you say? How about Hannah Dughem? How would you analyze Keller's relationship with James? Is it a friendly one or is it a tense one? Is there tension? Hannah?
Miss, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. You could say your answer.
Not friendly, and
Right. How can we see the tension? How can we sense the tension between them? What would you say, Judy?
Whenever James tries to speak or like state his opinion, father like shuts him down
Good job.
and
Right.
silence.
Definitely. Definitely. All right. And James also, his comments, are they normal comments or they're more sarcastic and a little, unnecessary? Maya, what would you say?
They're sarcastic and they make him angry.
Yes, right. They're annoying comments, right? They're frustrating. Okay, so here we see that father tells him to shut up, and we also see that James actually shuts up and he makes himself scarce. That means not available. And we can see that James here. We're gonna see it later on more that he is not happy with his family and his relationship with his father is not that great. Okay, and it's highlighted here in just how Mr. Keller speaks to him. Okay. So Keller, continue. All right. He says, Ali, Katie.
Katie,
Kate,
I might as
Kate,
well.
Kate quickly
Kate
turns Helen
quickly
away.
turns.
I'm the stage directions and retrieves the papers. Okay. So she picks up the papers that Helen dropped. Okay. She's picking them up for Mr. Keller, for her husband. Okay. Continue, Ali.
I might as well try to work in a hen yard as in the house.
Good. All right. So he's just a hen yard is a place that is noisy. All right. This is his way of saying that his house is as noisy as a hen yard. So he might as well just try to get his work done somewhere else. All right. James. Ahmed.
Miss, there's something you will say.
Palisading.
You really ought to put her away, father.
Staring up.
What?
Some asylum.
Asylum.
It's the kindest thing.
Miss, what is the
Why?
meaning of asylum?
An asylum is an insane asylum. An insane asylum is a place that you put mentally ill people. All right, people with mental disabilities, people that are mentally insane, like our narrator from The Telltale Heart. All right, someone who is basically mentally incapable and mentally insane. You would put them in an they call it the full name for it is an insane asylum. All right, for mentally incapable people. All right, so this is how James feels about his sister. All right, he thinks that she should not be living with them and that she should be placed in an insane asylum, and that this would be the best thing for her, or the kindest thing, or the best choice for dealing with Keller, that she doesn't belong with them in the house, that she needs to be placed in an insane asylum. Okay, and of course we can see that Kate says, "What?" Like she's, it's a remark that let's see how Aunt Eve. Go ahead, Maya.
Why? She's your sister, James, not a nobody.
Half sister and half mentally defective. She can't even keep herself clean. It's not pleasant to see her about all the time.
Okay, so here James openly expresses, how unpleasant it is, or how unpleasant he feels it is to have his sister around. Do you think that James is making a good decision? Is that a good decision that he's making? What do you say, Kinsey?
Miss, can you say the question again?
The question again says, do you think that James here is making the correct decision regarding his sister, that she should be placed in an insane asylum because she is mentally defective, and he doesn't enjoy. It's not pleasant to
No,
see her all the time
it
looking
is not
messy.
correct.
Why?
No, because she is his sister. So how he tell her like that, and how he talk about her like that. Even he is not in he is not in the same mom, but they are siblings.
All right, so you feel because they are siblings that he shouldn't or look at her like that, that he should be able to cope with her better, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
is he making a fair decision about her insanity or her mental defectiveness? No,
No.
right? No, all right. No one really gave Helen a chance yet. Okay, so he is jumping into conclusions about her mental disability or defectiveness without really giving her a chance. All right, so Kate, continue. Kate,
Do you dare complain of what you can see?
very annoyed. Mr. Keller, you're very annoyed.
This discussion is at an end. I will thank you not to broach it again, Eve.
Silence descends at once. Helen gropes her way with the doll, and Keller turns back for a final word explosive. I've done. Go ahead, Mr. Keller.
I've done as much as I can bear. I can give my whole life to it. The house is at sixes and sevens from morning till night over the child. It's time some attention was paid to Mildred
Mildred.
here instead.
Good. Mildred is a baby child. Okay, she's actually in a cradle. She is Kate and Keller's second baby, and she's just a tiny little baby child. So he says, Mr. Keller here is upset that all the attention since morning to night is always given to Helen. Okay, because she is the one with the disability of blind and deaf, and that she needs someone's attention constantly. So he says that he needs some attention needs to be paid to that child, which is Mildred. Okay, so Kate, gently.
You'll wake her up, Captain.
Keller.
I want some peace. I want some peace in the house. I don't care how, but one way we won't have it is by rushing up and down the country every time someone hears of a new quack. I'm as sensible to this affliction as anyone else. It hurts me to look at the girl.
All right, so he says that basically he doesn't want anyone to mention any new doctors, okay, any new quack or doctor. That's what he means. That we need some peace in the house. The affliction here is that he's talking about is Helen's illness. He says, it's affecting me as anyone else, and it hurts me to look at Helen and see her this way. But we cannot just every time we hear about a new doctor to just run to that new doctor hoping for an answer or a solution. Okay, Kate? Go ahead, Kate. Nano?
It was not our affliction. I meant you to write about, Captain.
Helen is back at Aunt Eve's, fingering her dress and yanks two buttons from it. Okay, so here we see that Helen is doing something very, very smart and intelligent. Okay, what she's doing is she is, playing, all right, moving her fingers on Aunt Eve's dress, and she realizes that they have buttons on them, and buttons are round and circular, just like eyes, okay? And she yanks or pulls or rips out two buttons from Aunt Eve's dress. So Aunt Eve is probably furious. Aunt Eve, continue, Maya. Helen.
Helen, my buttons.
Okay, so she's ripping your dress. She's ripping the buttons off of your dress, Aunt Eve's dress. So Aunt Eve is like, Helen, my buttons. Okay. Helen pushes the buttons into the doll's face. Kate now sees, comes quickly to kneel. She gets on her on her knees next to Helen, lifts Helen's hand to her own eyes in question. Okay, she takes Helen's hands and she puts them on her own eyes. And she says to Helen,